And it's just like, Mothra doesn't always die. Like, that's not my point. The point is that the adult, more often than not, dies. Like, well, she only dies in 4 movies. Well, no, the guy said 3 movies. Like, no, it dies in 5. And then the whole final wars. Like, oh, well, it's in the end credit scene. Like, does that really count, though?
I'm sorry, but not much of anything from Final Wars counts, in my opinion.
Anyway. Hi, welcome to Gabara Gabara, the podcast where our audience basically sticks around for 6 minutes and then leaves. And because I watched I know you can see my reflection in this. I know I watched that.
I'm Alex.
I'm Clayton. And today we're talking about my choice of movie, our first show of movie.
A
King Ghidorah.
Classic.
The 3-headed monster. The first appearance of King Ghidorah. I watched the Japanese version last night.
Yeah, I watched the English version last night and then like 2 weeks ago. Because I was like, I'm in the mood to go ahead and watch it.
I like we could just do a mirror in the background like this and just like, here you can see us and the figures at the same time.
I don't think anyone wants to see us.
I'm pretty good looking. I don't know about you. Anyway, here we go.
Hello.
There's our stars. We got Godzilla. Rodan comes back for the first time since his inaugural movie. Mm-hmm. The only surviving of the Mothra larva from the previous movie.
Yeah, because Godzilla...
He tore one of them up. Like, well, it's not gory or anything because Mr. Tsuburaya did not want gore in his movies. So,
but they even say it in this movie that the other one didn't survive.
So watching the American version during that whole terrible "Where Are They Now" show, I always kind of thought that they were talking about the adult Mothra. It's like, oh, the other one died. I'm like, well, yeah, she died. And then the moth. But watching the Japanese one last night, they see the other larva died. I'm like, oh, now it makes more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Godzilla. Godzilla got one in the end.
Yeah, he got a draw on that one.
Yup.
And then we got King Ghidorah, King Ghidorah.
The first appearance of the Golden God.
The Golden God!
C-3PO! Wait.
It's just, or Dennis Reynolds. It's the only movie where he's, like, actually, I see an actual threat. Like, he's a force of nature, basically. He shows up.
I mean, it does take everyone, though, in Destroy All Monsters to beat him.
But he's still being controlled by the Kylags.
Yeah, but in this one, I mean, you're right. This is, I mean, well, they had to. This is the first showing of him. He's going to come out stout. And that scene where he flies over Tokyo and is literally just destroying everything in just a matter of minutes.
It was awesome.
It's fantastic.
The movie's a classic. It's one of my favorites. It's one of my favorite scores, favorite themes.
This is probably the one I watched the most growing up as a child. Now, as you know, my favorite show is Terror of Mechagodzilla. This one was my favorite growing up. I watched this one all the time. This was arguably, other than the original, like, my first actual Godzilla movie.
Megalon was mine.
I'm so sorry.
Oh, yeah. But it's what started it off. My mother went to Walmart one day at lunch to pick me up something to make me feel better because elementary was a dick. And she came back with Godzilla vs. Megalon and like, I don't know what this is, but this is going to be amazing. And I loved it. It was also the first time I got to see
Jet Jaguar?
Well, yeah, Jet Jaguar, Rodan, and Garrus are in it for a split second.
Yep.
So if you're going to count it, that was the first. I do love that suit though, the Godzilla suit from that movie and the Mechagodzilla one.
Oh yeah.
And it was like, oh, he looks like a dog, or like really like pug face, whatever. I love it. There's only a few Godzilla suits that I don't really care for.
Better than Frog Goji from Godzilla vs. King Kong.
I will strike you.
Hey.
That suit looks awesome. Well,
he looks like a frog.
Yeah. Yeah.
He looks more like he looks like a toad, and then you have like Son of Godzilla where he looks like a frog with those big old eyes on top. But anyway, enough about all of those. We have to cover this movie. Do you want to give us a little plot rundown?
Okay, so yet again, like in Biollante, there's another country, mythical country, which was also in the Mothra movie too. There's this made up country. Well, the princess makes an unofficial stop or unofficial visit to Japan. A detective is assigned to be her bodyguard, who I just found out last night. He is the doctor in Godzilla 1985. It took me a little bit. Like,
Shindo?
yes.
Yeah, Shindo, that detective.
Yeah.
Well, then you know who the chief is, right? The actor. The chief is
Oh, yeah.
Dr. Serizawa.
Yeah. There's Christy was watching this last night. She's like, I know that scientist. Wasn't he in the last movie? Like, yeah, he was in Mothra. He's in Godzilla versus Mothra. Well, Mothra versus Godzilla. And it's like Toho has this stable of actors that they just reuse over and over and over.
All these different characters.
And I'm terrible with names, so I'm going to refer to these characters as the reporter, the detective, and the scientist.
And the chief.
So mid-flight, she gets a voice saying to get up and leave this place. And so she gets up and
strolls right out the airplane.
Yeah.
Just opens the door. Which, by the way, the outfits on that plane.
Yeah.
Rocking. With the big frills around.
Did you notice the Santa hats for the guards in the background?
Yeah. Fantastic. Whoever came up with that wardrobe, I applaud you. That's excellent.
See, like growing up watching this movie, I never paid any attention to it at all. But back in November, when this is like the first time I watched this movie in like 5 years, maybe, I noticed it finally. The giant frill neck. Like, what in the hell is that?
Yeah. They went a little wild with the outfits for that. But she just strolls right out the plane, and immediately afterwards, the plane explodes.
And
what hits that, by the way? What hits that plane? Is it one of the shooting stars?
No, there was a bomb planted on the plane.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I had trouble trying to watch that last night because it looked like something was going at it, and the plane blew up. But
I want to say it was the bomb because I wear sunglasses. I wear sunglasses. Assassin that can't shoot the broadside of a barn.
God, he's terrible. We'll get into that one though.
Yeah, it's like so. This prophet shows up and starts preaching that the world will soon be destroyed. Everybody laughs. In the Japanese version, she claims to be from Venus, but in the American version, she claims to be from
Mars.
I don't know why they decided to change that.
It's kind of makes no. Maybe because
women are from Venus and men are from Mars.
But then why is she from
Actually,
why is she from Mars?
I never noticed this in the American version. You're going to hear us say that a lot, or me say that a lot. Some of the people in the crowds were saying like, "Hey, are you a boy or a girl?" And then when somebody else says like, "Take your clothes off," like, "Ha ha ha ha."
Yeah, I remember that.
And they walk out like, I don't remember that being in the English version.
They did ask her stuff like that in the English version.
They just asked her to take her clothes off?
I don't know if they asked him that, but they were like, "Are you a boy or a girl?"
Well, she was in a Bond movie.
Oh.
Yeah, Sean Connery. You only live twice, or you only die twice.
I'll have to check that out. That sounds pretty cool. But she says that yes, that there will be a return of Godzilla and Rodan.
Not specifically in that order. The first thing she says is that
the
real star of this movie, Rodan, will soon reappear.
The VA Rodan.
Yeah. So everybody laughs and they play it off now. So they go to Mount ASO. Yeah. Yeah. And it's like, it's not going to erupt. Like, she doesn't know what she's talking about. She's lying. When then she shows up and says, like, no, Rodan's going to awaken. They're like, what?
It's all started by the falling of this man's hat.
Yeah. It's like, Christy's like, you're going to go down there for like 200 yen? You're stupid.
For a hat. I'm going to climb. So, yeah, what happens is the wind blows, knocks this guy's hat off down inside the volcano. And it's just kind of resting there. And a gentleman pops up and says, "I'll go down and get it for you for 1,000 yen." And I
think he starts off with 700 in the Japanese version.
Oh.
This is fun. We should start doing this more often.
Well, so they haggle back and forth and eventually settle on 200 yen. And so down the man goes.
I love when he says, like, 500 yen. And the guy looks to his wife and she just makes this face like...
Yeah, this cringy face like, we can't afford that.
200 yen?
She's talking about monsters attacking. We can't afford that.
No.
Bill, son. So anyway, as the man's down there, everything starts to shake, rocks start to fall, and before you know it, we have our first appearance of Rodan as he comes out of the volcano.
For I think the first time in 5-6 years.
Now,
Yeah, it was he's changed a little bit.
A little bit.
His face isn't as awesome as it used to be, but it's okay.
he's still a bad man in this movie. He starts flying around.
When he first appears, though, when he flies up out of the little trench there, that's clearly a Godzilla roar. Somebody was not paying attention.
Yeah, they do like a little snippet of it, you know.
Yeah.
But then later on we have a boat in the sea.
Well, this is probably before now. So there's this little show that it's revealed that this comes together. Like most Godzilla movies, all the main characters are connected in some sort of way. So you have the detective who was supposed to be the princess's bodyguard. Well, then this prophet shows up who looks very familiar. Well, this reporter girl shows up and is talking to her. Turns out they're brother and sister. The detective and the reporter are siblings. Mm-hmm. Well, then she, maybe not, is dating the scientist who is studying this falling star, this meteorite that landed in the mountains that has these strange magnetic powers off and on. Sometimes it's magnetic, sometimes it's not. And one of the guys even points out
that it's growing too.
It's like, it looks bigger than the last time we were here. Like, what? They can't do that.
It's glowing, and it's...
And suddenly the pickaxes are all carried off by a string. I mean, magnetic powers, not a string. What?
Yeah, clearly.
I love old special effects. Where were we? Oh, so the detective is watching the news. Well, then his sister goes and changes the channel for their mother to this wonderful variety show on Where Are They Now?
What Are They Doing Now?
Well, that's it, yeah.
With these two guys who want to talk like... Well, they try to complete each other's sentences constantly, and it's quite cheesy.
The English voices are
awful.
Cringy.
Awful.
Debatably racist.
Yeah.
In a way, yeah.
And so they get two children on there, and they ask the children, who would you want to see?
Mothra!
Well, just lucky for you, we got the fairies anyway.
that makes me wonder. It's like,
how did they get the fairies?
Oh, that's going to be a tough one, kid.
Yeah.
I don't know how. No, you're a liar.
Next best thing, here's the fairies.
Hey, we'll bring the fairies. And then we start into this like 30 freaking minute long musical number it's not 30 minutes, but it's like 3 minutes of them singing.
It's still shorter than Summoning of King Caesar.
I thought about that too.
It's still shorter than that.
Well, this is about to end, right? No, it's not.
They get down. Well, you know what? Mothra's far away on Infant Island. It takes a minute. The song's got to get there. She's got to feel, oh, they need me. Okay, I'll slumber down my rock here.
Okay, and this is something I love more in the Japanese version, is that they didn't have, though they didn't need to, they didn't have this woman dubbing over the song, translating the song for everybody. Where in the English dub, it's just like she's reading off a piece of a paper.
Yeah.
And saying it.
And then they just impose the fairies on the screen. Like they're take up the entire half of the screen, and you just see Mothra in the center just sitting there.
Yeah.
It's so bad while she's just reading a script. Okay,
so none of these vinyls are accurate to the movie. It's just the fact that
someone is close.
Very close. So, Ghidorah, the three-headed monster, and Mothra vs. Godzilla came out in the same year. Mm-hmm. So it's the same suit, they just altered the head a little bit. Mm-hmm. I love the suit. It's one of my favorite Godzillas. The fisheye, the clear, milky-looking eyes, terrifying. They are amazing. So, this Mothra, in the movie, has red eyes, and to me, that's a little unsettling. I don't know what. Like, show
You're going up
Mothra.
against King Ghidorah. You got to look somewhat intimidating,
Boost that up a little bit.
right? Although you see what happens when those gravity beams hit her.
And I'm thinking like that.
They just throw that suit around in the air like a rag doll.
Yeah. So this Rodan's from Final Wars. This is from Tokyo SOS. One of the best. I want to say that Mothra in that movie is gorgeous.
No, SOS?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like
I mean, that's no Leo Mothra.
very colorful, but like
I just like for the people listening, you can't see his face, but I just love. Don't even try it.
I'm gonna tap the button. I'm gonna get in the
I just love saying things like that.
No,
just
I
to
love
get a
Leo
reaction
Mothra.
out of him.
I love Leo Mothra though. Like I like the black
Oh yeah.
on it. It's gorgeous. And then this King Ghidorah is from GMK. We'll get to that later. We'll do it in a few movies. So that was that the music number necessary? No.
If you want to summon Mothra, it is.
Well, no, not that one. That one's just the like. Where are they now?
Then like the Mothra thing appears.
Well, they do it again later. Like, oh, can you
yeah.
please summon Mothra because we don't want to nuke. They say this too. Like, we don't want to. Like, are any of you brave enough to use nuclear weapons on Godzilla or Rodan? Like, good God, Japan!
Oh.
And like, well, that was when right before King Ghidorah shows up. I like saying Ghidorah.
I used to say Ghidorah all the time,
King
I
Ghidorah.
like Ghidorah.
I like Radon, but whatever.
Yeah. No one else does.
I will strike you
No one else does.
with my golden god powers. So they're all connected. All the characters connected.
Mm-hmm.
They cut back to the prophet, and she tells everybody you can't get on this boat as the ferries are trying to go back to Infant Island. I don't know why this boat is going to go to Infant Island to begin with. It's full of people. Anyway, so the fairies understand what she's talking about. They don't get on the boat. Later that night, the boat is destroyed by
Godzilla, who comes out of the water. Well, all right, there's a reason he destroys the boat.
the whales.
Well, no, the whales are moving. They're doing their thing. They're running, as you would if Godzilla's behind you. Godzilla comes out of the water, and in one of my favorite scenes in the movie, him rising out of that water like that.
Yeah.
He sees, and I actually made a note of this. He sees Rodan, and just gets very angry about it. Just gets livid. The fact that he's even there, and immediately blows up the boat because of it.
You can hear.
Like, it cuts to Rodan, you see him flying in the night sky, and it goes back to Godzilla, and he looks up and just stares at him for a minute, and just like roars and gets pissed, and then breathes fire on the boat and immediately blows it up.
Really?
Yeah, in the American version, yeah.
Huh.
It was hilarious.
Okay, so in my version, the boat's coming along. You see the whales jumping out of the water to get away, and you see the light show underwater.
Mm-hmm.
Well, then Godzilla comes raising up out of the water, shoots the boat. It bursts into flames. Well, then he stops, and I swear that suit could blink a little bit, like the actual suit, not a puppet or anything, because the lights reflecting off his eyes. Like, I swear, like they blink for a second, but like you hear that sound,
the flying of
yeah,
Rodan.
and he just looks up, and there's just clouds. And you can't see anything, but you can still hear it. Well, then all of a sudden, like several seconds later, you see the silhouette of Rodan just appear and just like flying. And Godzilla just turns away and starts following him.
Well, no, in the American version, he sees Rodan, and it pisses him off so much that he has to immediately blow up this boat, and then starts going after Rodan.
Rodan's he provokes people
just by being there, and that's one of the cool shots in the movie, cinematography wise, is when right after Godzilla comes out of the water, but he's still in the harbor. Like, they do this in the American version anyway. They do this far away shot where you see kind of through the buildings, and you see Godzilla off in the distance, and he's just like coming. And they cut back and forth a couple times to where he's like closer, but then they go do another shot where he's farther away again. But those far away shots are some really good shots. Cool. Some of my favorite ones.
So the little reporter girl gets a hold of, she takes the prophet priestess not priestess, princess.
The princess.
Spoiler alert! So they get her, take her back to this hotel, and that's when the Mr. I wear shades.
The Goon Squad, as I dubbed them.
The mustachioed goon. That's his name. You look him up on IMDb. The mustachioed goon. That is Hayata from Ultraman.
Nice.
Yeah, he's also in King Kong Escapes as one of the henchmen.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So, Chrissy wanted me to bring that in. It's like, you should really talk about that. It's like, because that guy's mustache is amazing. Like,
well, their whole little mobster Goon Squad-esque thing is really cool. They get in that little car,
like y'all
cruising around like if they're in the 30s in New York or something.
Y'all have watched way too many movies in y'all's little made-up kingdom that y'all live in.
Oh, yeah, yeah. If you need to assassinate someone, you need to dress like you're a mobster in the 30s.
Well, Godzilla shows up to destroy the city. Rodan shows up.
And the battle ensues.
Yeah, and they start...
And Rodan whoops him. I mean, we both made notes on this. In that fight...
Okay, let's get through the rest of this real quick. Before we just get back to the awesomeness that is...
this whole battle.
Rodan. So, the prophet claims that, like, oh, no, the Earth will be destroyed. Like, I'm from Venus because, you know, and it was destroyed by King Ghidorah. And that he's already here on Earth. Meteorite hatches.
And then the cool fire monster, the plume of fire comes out. And it slowly takes the shape of King Ghidorah.
Oh, it was amazing.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Everybody says, like, hey, can you get Mothra to talk Godzilla and Rodan into joining forces? They try to. Or she tries to. They say no. Godzilla does not have a potty mouth as he did in the...
oh, in the American version. Such language.
I know.
Such
I was
terrible
waiting
language.
for it. They don't ever do it.
No, but he does have some really good lines, though, where, at least translated by the fairies, where he talks about, like, you know, humanity only wants to destroy us. I have no...
They bully him is what they say. And,
yeah, well, he's just like, I don't feel anything to save them. Why should I? They do nothing but treat us like crap.
Yeah. She goes off.
Me too, Godzilla.
Yeah. Mothra goes off to fight King Ghidorah by herself.
In a BA move, by the way. Fine, then. I'll just go take... Knowing good and well... King Ghidorah is about to stomp on you all day.
She only goes to fight him for like 5 seconds, and then Rodan and Godzilla show up.
Well, for those 5 seconds, it's literally her getting hit with the gravity beams, thrown up in the air, smacks back down, and just relentlessly pummeled by Ghidorah's attacks.
5 seconds. I got you for 30 seconds of bleak time.
Yeah.
And then they fight. It's kind of a short fight. It's a big build-up for such a short fight. Godzilla does not use his atomic breath on Ghidorah once the entire fight. I think it was budget reasons. Did you notice that?
You know, now that you mention it, yeah. Well, you know what? Here's the thing, though. I hate that early shower breath.
You were...
Look, hear me. Just
you are about to be striked.
Just listen. It's just a...
It's the CO. The CO2.
It's just a CO2. There's not even... It does nothing. Like, you know, when they started making it the beam, that's when you could... Oh, okay, this should actually do something.
When they draw it.
Yeah.
Draw it in, yeah.
But, man, it's like... All right, for example, Rodan takes it to the face.
We're about to get to how awesome Rodan is.
Nothing happens.
He's my kaiju of choice.
Looks at him like nothing ever happened.
He just shakes it off. Like the hand puppet is amazing.
Oh, yeah.
Like, no.
But the battle between all four of them keeps going and finally is ultimately won by Mothra. Mothra comes in, starts spraying her down with the webbing, climbs up on the back of Rodan, which is kind of funny.
Yeah, she bites a hold of Godzilla's tail, and he drags her along to get to where they need to go quicker. That was very nice of Godzilla. Then she gets on top of the back of Rodan, and he flies around, and she shoots.
Webs up Ghidorah.
Yeah.
Godzilla picks up Ghidorah, throws him off a cliff, and then he flies away.
And that's it.
And
that's
pretty much it.
That's the turn. This is the start of Godzilla and Rodan being like heroes. They're not, I wouldn't say anti-heroes. They're not villains anymore. They're not flying around or stomping around destroying cities for the next 10 years. Yeah. Well, this came out in the 60s.
Well, I mean, really, Godzilla,
This is the 5th Godzilla movie.
is a hero from here on out from the Showa series.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't be until 85 again, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And then they rebooted it.
When they rebooted and Godzilla comes back in all his glory
Yeah.
and wipes out Tokyo.
Okay, for the new people that don't... Okay. So you have your Batman Forever and your Batman and Robin. So like Batman's goofy and all that. That's your Showa.
We're selling lunchboxes and
Yeah,
action figures
that's your Showa Godzilla. Mm-hmm. Well then, here along comes Christopher Nolan with your awesome Batman, and that's the Heisei Godzilla. He's back to being what he originally was. Awesome. Mm-hmm. But I mean, the Showa Godzilla, he's awesome at times.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about Rodan and what he can do.
So that's the plot at 25 minutes in. That's the plot.
Yeah. So Rodan can take the heat beam to the face, not once, but going on 2 times.
Keeps constantly flying into Godzilla, pushes him over.
He picks him up, drops him
crotch first.
I was like balls first.
Yeah.
Which
there's a couple crotch shots in this movie. Ghidorah hits Godzilla with a gravity beam right down
3
south.
gravity beams.
That's tough.
he just shakes it off. Like then that's one of the more commonly used scenes. I think they use it 2 more times. Mm-hmm. I think they use it in Destroy All Monsters, and I know for a fact they use it again in Godzilla vs. Gigan.
Mm-hmm. That's such a good one too.
For as much stock footage as they used in that movie, I can forgive it. The plot's awesome. It's hilarious. Oh, yeah. It's great. Like it's good characters. It's good hippie fun.
Mm-hmm. A lot of this movie, though, one thing I did note down was a lot of it, like from the people side of things, because obviously when it came to the monster fights, they had a big set that they obviously used. But for a lot of the people, it looks like they actually went out and filmed on location. Like when they're in the mountains, they're in the mountains.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really cool because it makes a lot of those shots look a hell of a lot better than just being on like a set with some trees behind you. Like no, they actually went out and climbed up a freaking mountain and filmed some of this.
That's one of the things talking about being on sets. I noticed, which I think I've always noticed this, is that the backdrop in the background, you can see the crease lines in it. That's why I didn't really care much about ironing this since I bought it yesterday.
Yeah.
I was like, I'll leave it in. It gives it that look. But yeah, that's.
But one of my favorite scenes in the movie, this is probably my favorite scene in the movie. If I had to pick one, is Ghidorah destroying Tokyo. That is fantastic.
So it's a proven fact that Rodan can stun Godzilla by pecking in between the eyes.
Is that your favorite scene? If you had to pick one?
Well, Rodan's also an excellent volleyball player.
They both are. Don't underestimate Godzilla's volleyball playing skills because he returned every one of those shots, mind you, until he got hit in the face with Mothra's string shot, with the old caterpillar string shot.
It lowered their speed.
Well, and then I love that Rodan just busts out laughing.
That hand puppet's hilarious.
Yeah.
And then Godzilla chuckles a little bit too. But and I know some people that they don't like Godzilla and Rodan. They start off as like enemies, and they're vicious, and they're just they're what they originally are. Well, then when they start talking back and forth to one another, it's just like it just becomes their goofballs. After that, I can see that, but like knowing that this is like the start of the kid films, it's understandable. I love it, and still,
oh yeah.
And I'm gonna go back. This isn't movie, and then I've promised Christy I will never force her to watch this movie. And I said I would never watch this again, but I kind of want it now. Just for my kid to watch. And I heard that sigh. All Monsters Attack. It's a kid's movie. It's
yeah. I actually think I own it.
I'll take it off your hands.
Because it came in a pack.
Yeah.
And it's titled actually Godzilla's Revenge in my pack.
Yeah.
Yes, I do own that one.
It's Ishiro Honda and Eiji Tsuburaya talking to the kids, and they wanted to make kid
and
movies.
That's what we talked about. And I think in the Bylani film that we covered was all of the strong messages that a lot of these movies tried to have. That one, as bad as it is, does have a message that actually still stands you know, with today's time of a very strong anti-bullying message for young kids.
And
not just for young kids, but really for anybody. So, I mean, as bad as that movie is, yeah, I mean, it is worth having in a collection.
Yeah. And if anybody's made it this far into the video and they hear me, I know you just heard somebody die inside. Like,
I had to admit,
I kind of want that movie.
Yeah, you had to admit that you want it. I had to admit that I own it, and that it's worth having.
So if anybody's made it this far into it, you've heard 2 people die inside in the span of 5 seconds.
Yeah.
Well, it's also the movie that we named this after. So.
Although, you do get to see Minya get punched in the face. Rocket punched in the face.
That's like saying you like seeing children get punched in the face. Hey, if the little S's deserve
no one likes Minya, I'm sorry.
I kind of liked him. I kind of liked him as a child. Yeah.
So, one of my favorite parts in the final battle, since you are all high on Rodan, is actually when Rodan is hiding behind the rock, and Ghidorah keeps breathing his beams at him. And
Rodan's smart.
He's ducking behind this rock. He could easily just fly away, but he's like,
no! If he flies away, he's an easy target.
Well, Ghidorah's coming after him. Ghidorah flies too.
I feel so sorry for the guy inside the Ghidorah suit. Because they said like he's holding onto a crossbar and he's hunched over the entire time. There's really nowhere in there for like a head. There's like no. So the guy's legs. There's the guy, but you're hunched over, and there's all those cables holding that suit up. Did I ever tell you this is why I wanted you to bring some whiskey, because I wanted to pour one out for my friend Wes. One Dragon Con, I don't know why, but a buddy said like, "Oh, we're gonna make Godzilla costumes." Like, have you ever seen a Godzilla movie? He's like, "I've seen like a long time ago." I'm like, well, I'm hardcore about this, but that will take a lot of work.
Yeah, Godzilla costumes are not easy to make, especially if you want to do a good one.
Yeah, I actually had blueprinted out. It was terrible, but I had blueprinted King Ghidorah costume. But it was going to be PVC pipes in 2 of the heads, and you would be able to hold on to like the stick inside. Nice. It would not work realistically.
Well, now there's an easier way to do it. Did you see what just the costumes I got put out for the new movie? Your 2 arms are the other heads.
Yes.
That thing looks terrifying, and not a good way either.
Yep. But like, they was going to rig up some sort of like head harness so the other neck was like resting on your head and shoulders, but that wouldn't be able to move. There would be no strings holding you up. The wings would not be able to get through like any of the doors at Dragon Con or stuff. It just would not work.
I think you could
not work.
I think if you made the wings something, they could still get it in. I mean, I've seen a lot of people's costumes that go to Dragon Con and stuff. There's some crazy ones that come from there.
I know people are like, well, you're just giving us toys to look at. So you're going to look at my hands. The tails would be another problem.
No.
Which I've seen a guy walk around as, I want to say I saw him as a burning Godzilla. But I was up like 18 stories up, and I was like, that's Godzilla, and I think he's on fire.
Nice.
Yeah.
And I mean, I've seen people walk through as the alien before.
I've seen one, and he had like piano wire, or he had like fishing line holding his tail up.
See, and you could kind of do the same thing for Ghidorahs.
If you were to fall, though, you're screwed.
Hopefully you wouldn't be doing this by yourself. You'd have buddies there to pick you up.
Handlers, yeah.
Ghidorah handlers. That's my title in the movie, by the way.
Friends.
You had one job. Handle Ghidorah. He got loose.
Damn, there was like 5+ people doing those suits. Anyway, so a friend of mine says, like, dude, you got to do a Godzilla costume. I'm like, I don't want to do Godzilla. Like, I want to do Rodan or Anguirus or Gamera. Because I want to, know.
Or Jet Jaguar.
Or Ultraman. Yeah. But Ghidorah is beautiful. Like, I know he's based after like the 8-headed dragon. The name escapes me.
Was it Orochi?
So yeah, actually.
Yeah, I think it's it. Yeah.
Yeah. Originally, Mr. Tsuburaya wanted him to be, dark red, like the devil. But they decided, gold would look a lot better. Mm-hmm. It worked.
It works. And now, if you do that, that's actually something that Toho requires. like listening to interview from Michael Daughtry for the new movie.
He has to be
He
gold.
has to be gold. He has to have the 2 tails and the 3 heads. Those are they no wiggle room whatsoever.
Well, it's like Marvel with Peter Parker. I know that they've said that, like, why can't Peter Parker be black? Like, well, because, like, that's, like, in the stipulation type deal. Like, Peter Parker has to be, I won't say an adult, but he has to be, like, a white guy with brown hair.
Yeah.
And that's fine, and they created Miles Morales. But there's some promotional pictures. I dig it. The blue, there's Ghidorah's blue.
Oh, for the original. Yeah, the blue, red, and wings.
And his wings are like, there's blue, and there's white, and there's red in there, and it looks really awesome. And I think X Plus
does have one.
Is going to make one. Oh.
It looks fantastic. It's also going to cost you a kidney.
You only need one.
And maybe a foot. I don't know. But it's not cheap either way.
Yeah. I was like, I wish I had $300 to throw at a giant vinyl figure. They look like they walk off the screen, though.
Yeah, they do.
They look amazing.
But, so, we're closing up on the end of that, and I have a few things I wanted to ask you before we kind of...
Also,
we end all this.
The cables kept getting caught up in the scales there on the suit. So this suit was like a pain. The necks kept getting tangled together.
Because there's a lot of floppy neck action going on.
Yeah, and that's one thing I'm really going to miss watching the new Legendary Godzilla movie.
Nothing. That scene on him, that scene from the new trailer of him on top of the volcano.
Oh, dude, yeah. He's going to look awesome. He looks awesome. The trailers look amazing. It's just that I love the 60s and 70s.
Oh, of course.
Well, I love the 60s. When did this movie come out?
64.
64. And it came out in America in 1965. Just that classic look, though. It's...
Oh, yeah. Showa Ghidorah is amazing. I'm more partial to Heisei Ghidorah.
Very beautiful.
But yeah.
Not crazy about the roar, though.
But what was I going to say? Oh, yeah, one thing for the new movie, one of the questions that was asked of Michael Daughtry was, what inspired you to do that shot of Ghidorah on top of the volcano like that?
With the giant cross?
Yeah, and he was like, honestly, it was out of Revelations.
Yeah.
And he tweeted, Michael Daughtry, and this is why I'm so excited for this new movie, he tweeted out a picture of that scene and just had, "Where is your God now?" And I was like, yes!
Somebody changed it and said, "Where's your Godzilla now?"
Yeah. I was like, that is amazing.
Why you gotta bring Jesus into this?
Hey man, Ghidorah is the end times.
Yeah.
I mean... So I had a question for you, though. I had a question for you. So... Since the princess, who, is a Martian...
I know what you mean. She's from Venus.
Well,
She's a Venusan.
said that her Martian, ancestors were here on Earth as well. Now, she did say some of them died out. 5 people right now who could be Martians. Can you give me 5 that you think could be Martians?
Okay, so there's...
Living today.
Living today?
Yeah.
Me.
You're a Martian this whole time and I didn't know? Good cover.
Speaking of Martians, today, you're talking about Godzilla was or
anybody?
Anybody.
When the monsters attack, these people are going to know how to deal with them. So we need to know who these Martians are. I think we lost one with Michael Jackson. I think he was a Martian.
Dennis Rodman. I'm going...
You're going off Men in Black.
Yeah,
that scream from Men in Black.
I know what you're doing. Exactly what I'm doing.
I know what you're doing.
Call up Rodman. He's from that gas station. Not much of it's in the skies. Like, you're talking about aliens in broad daylight, girl. You no wonder you're not in any more of the movies. I don't know, man. Who could deal with the monsters? Arnold.
Yeah.
Maybe Dolph Lundgren.
Michael Fassbender.
How many? We're at 3 now.
3 right there. 2 more plausible Martians.
Hugh Jackman. And I'm just creating an A-team, like a Kaiju hit squad.
Putin.
I don't agree with his policies, but that dude, that SOB is a Bond villain.
He is a Bond villain. That's why he's the one Martian who doesn't go with the other group.
I don't. From the very start,
he's the one who summons Ghidorah.
A buddy of mine, we got into a big debate about him. I was like, I love Putin. He's awesome. Just because he looks like a Bond villain. Like I don't like policy wise and all that.
Yeah.
No, absolutely not. But it's like you walk around on you ride around on a horse in Russia with no shirt on. Like you are kind of a BA. And if like just go look up epic rap battles.
Already you lost me.
Rasputin versus you didn't like that one?
No, I don't like any epic rap battle. I hate all
that one was awesome. But they go for
Rasputin,
Lenin, Stalin. Christy told me she even met the guy, but then it went into Putin, and it's just like you need to learn how to handle real power. Like, did somebody say real power? And it's very Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Nice.
Yeah, we want to go with Putin.
I mean, as the one who summons Ghidorah.
I was gonna say he's got thermonuclear weapons. Like if you're gonna kill the monsters, you can just wipe out the planet. So why not?
Which ties us into Godzilla Earth. Hey.
Is that what they did?
No.
Oh.
No. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I think for the movie wise.
Movie's awesome.
Any news?
There's some, but like we really need to wrap this up because we're getting into like Biollante terms. And
yeah, we got about, let's say, 5 more minutes.
Okay, so I want to shameful plug a friend of mine real quick. Can you see? No.
No, you can't see.
All right, we're gonna go AWOL here for a second. Here, hold the pictures for me. Oh, your hand's on screen, Alex.
Woo!
So yeah, the friend of mine, Jamie Snell, he does Godzilla artwork. Or he has in the past. He's you really can't tell because it's so dark, and that's our lighting system right there. So I'm gonna have Alex be my Price is Right showgirl here. Hold it, show it off, man. Use that other hand. Use that other hand. Oh yes. So we're just gonna have fun. Like if nobody's gonna make it this far into videos.
Now.
Yeah.
I love the beam on that one.
That's really good, and.
Jamie Snell, if you're listening, I would like one of these of Godzilla destroying or attacking the Sanford Stadium here in Athens. I'm just saying.
I might say, well, that would be like a commission.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying.
You better save those pennies up there, boy.
Yeah, I'm sure that one's not cheap, but that would be cool.
That's a good one. Like this is my favorite.
Because
Gamera, you got.
See how this one's attacking the stadium?
That's cool. You got Mothra right there. As you can see, this was made in 2011. That's awesome Godzilla there with the beam. It's got to be the Cincinnati Reds.
I'm pretty sure that's Clayton right there.
We've asked, and he's just like, or maybe it's just a guy with a goatee that maybe looks like Clayton, but wearing a red hat. Because I had a Georgia Bulldog hat. Mm-hmm. Go Dogs. And
Go Dogs, son. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. If nobody's gonna make it this far to the videos. Damn it, we're gonna have fun with this. It's crap. And then this one was also
that's classic.
Yeah, there we go. So look him up. He's online. Type in Jamie Snell.
There you go.
SNEIL. I want to say that. I think I'm on the spot and I went blank.
So what is our next?
Okay,
movie?
So I called her our #1 fan. She's like, well, I don't know if I don't know if I count because I'm really good friend. Woo, snap. If I'm really good friends with Alex. And then I thought, I wonder if we could take this show on the road. If we could go, because it's all it is my phone. Mm-hmm. If we could meet up somewhere, get her involved. And talk, maybe. We ain't got to. If you're listening this far, we ain't got to. This just happened. This idea just showed up. This is 44 minutes into it now. This just showed up an hour ago. But our next movie, I had our #1 fan, Jess, talk. Because last time I called her Jenny, and I sent her a gif of Forrest Gump. Jenny. Hey, you comment, you left us a review on our Facebook page, Yo Gabara Gabara on Facebook, and we greatly appreciate it. You picked the movie, and she said,
Shin Godzilla,
the latest, the newest Godzilla movie that has came out.
which is a fantastic film.
Oh God, it's so good.
Good return to Godzilla being a villain again.
You can't see the hand gesture I'm making, but it's so good. Multiple form Godzilla.
Yes. So that we will be covering. I don't know if we have a date on when we're doing that one yet.
There's good with you.
All right, we'll get back to
It really,
that one.
it really goes up
Try
to
to-
you because you're the one that works.
The weird schedule.
Yeah.
Hopefully within the next 2 weeks. We can have 2 weeks. So we should be able to do that then. So yeah, Shin Godzilla is next, and I have already picked out my movie that I am going to pick.
Well, we had talked about that.
Yeah, but we did. But
Is it not the same movie?
Godzilla vs. Gigan?
Yeah.
No, it is
It's
not.
oh, you son of a gun!